a little bit. Right now my lure is going to change directions. Here we go. There's a nice fish. That's a nice fish. That's a nice fish. Oh baby, that's a nice fish. Might be a keeper striper. No, he's kind of dying down. He's shrinking. He's shrinking. He died. He had a lot of spunk at the beginning. Probably 25 incher. 24 and a half. We'll call it 24 and a half. There, goodbye. Nice release. Feels really good. Just once I change directions. Another one for the granny candy. Looks pretty good. Just a little piece of a swimming mullet. An all white one this time. Let's see if that works. Good fish. Big. Fruities, but I said that last time. It was fruity. I think he's a 40-inch class fish, but he's fatty. Another one for the granny candy. I almost lost it. Granny candy and gulp. Available at prophecypipes.com. That was way off. About 35 inches. Belly flop there, sorry about that. I don't know if this is going to work or not. Just put a regular, used to be a 6-inch gulp, red and white with glitter on it. I'm just going to go to this rock and make a quick right. Gotta bust a Ricky. Busting a Ricky. Drag puller. Right, I changed directions. I was just oh man, I'm skimming across the rock. I think he had me against the rock there. I was coming this way and there's rocks right here and I just changed direction. I have an old video on YouTube about changing direction. And if you do it in front of a freaking striped bass, your lure just suddenly changes direction in front of them. This guy like, it's really weird. He's diving back down. Gonna break my pole. He's right under the propellers. Oh shit, that's not good. This fish had me up against a rock and he was severely fraying my leader. But what I was starting to say is when you're trolling the tube and worm at a point that has a striped bass stationed on it and you suddenly change directions, the tube and worm is going to appear as if it's alive and as if it's evading him. And when that happens right in front of a striped bass who's stationed on a point, he's going to put it in his mouth 100% of the time if your presentation is right. And there's a lot that goes into your presentation, but I'm not going into that right now. That when you present this thing to him correctly and he's there, he's going to put it in his mouth every time. You might not catch him every time. He might just rip the tail off. He might bite the hook, or he might eat the whole tube. But he's going to put it in his mouth 7 days a week, spring, summer, or fall. It doesn't matter what time of day. Doesn't matter if it's high tide or low tide, or if there's birds diving, or the moon, or none of that shit matters. The weather, nothing matters. It's all about the presentation and that sudden change of direction. Striped bass are opportunistic feeders, and that slow-moving tube is the perfect opportunity. So when you know your presentation is 100% flawless, that means the striped bass is not stationed on that point. It means to move on to the next location and try it again at a later time.
That's from the fight. Probably around 4. Nice fish. Measurement. Put you back. This is pretty accurate. It's like 41. 40-inch class, I'll take it. Oh, he swam right off. Ow. Fucking stabbed me. That was a terrible release, but he darted off. He it's actually a good way to release them if you dive them down in head first. It like fills with oxygen, but he was ready to go. You guys know that's not the way I like to release fish, but he was perfectly fine, and I probably got it on this camera of him swimming away. He darted off. I think this kind of helped. There is a lot of slime on here. Yeah, fuck my hands up. The reason I'm wearing these gloves in the middle of June is because my hands are so messed up. I'm tying so many knots, I have so many cuts. Tying so many lines. Changing directions is very important. That's how I catch a lot of fish, is when I change directions. Twitching sometimes helps, because a lot of times they'll hit it first before you hook them. And you'll just feel a tap. It kind of feels like you're hitting the bottom. And when that happens, I'll give it a little twitch, and that usually entices a bite. Not always. That was so awesome. Let's do that again, man. Keeney strikes again. So I was against the rock. My leader got a little beat up, so I gotta retie a new leader. It's only $20. $20 rod. I got it like 2 years ago. I never used it because when I got it, I ordered it online, which I don't like doing for rods and reels. I like to actually hold them first, but I was like, $20, let me try it. And when I got it, I was like, damn, it's a bait casting rod. I didn't realize. You're supposed to fish it like this. It's supposed to be upside down. And that thing handled that 40-inch class striper, man. I thought for sure he was going to break the rod when I had him and he went under the boat. I thought the rod was going to break. But it held up. So yeah, it's a Berkeley rod, 6 foot 6 inches. Berkeley gulp, Berkeley rod. Berkeley knows what the hell they're doing, man. The gulp, they really knocked it out of the park. Fully biodegradable. Really neat cruising direction. There's that island right there. Coming out the island. Once I got on it, I'm about to hit the rocks, I busted it right. And as I'm doing that, my lure's coming in. I reach. And once it changes directions, right when you hit it. Go looking for them. Don't use a fish finder. This prophecy pipe, the tubing worm break, is my fish finder. I always find striped bass with that tube. That's how I find out where to fish in the future. More. Took me a couple tries to turn the friggin' camera on, and I lost it. I did the same thing. I came at it, and this time I made a left. Fuck. It's a good fish. pot use 150-pound leader. I need a bigger rod. Oh, this is a great fish. Oh my God. Shifts his head. Like the whole tube. Oh. Oh man, my hook is barely in his mouth. Another one on the prophecy pipe. He looks just like that other fish, man. Looks just like him. 40, 41, about the same size. He's feeling tensing up. Last thing I want to do is start thrashing on my leg. Dude, he's the same size. It's like just over 40. Looks like not in his mouth, really. Love you, buddy. You know, every time you see me, I pierce your lip, but it's alright, battle scars. I'm not even holding you right now. He was ready that whole time. I'm towing them like that, trying to just get the oxygen to flow over the gills. I really don't know what's going on in their head because they just kind of just chill. They don't move. Another one on the prophecy pipe and gulp. This time, just a little pink mullet. Tore that thing up. That's 3 good fish today. All you need is a prophecy pipe and gulp. This color is going to get me their parents, or what I really want, their grandparents. Those 40-inch classes grandparents are the fish I'm after. What's that? That's the thing with these tubes, you can zigzag. When you do that, it kind of whips that thing around, and that change in direction, if you're doing that in front of a fish's face, it looks very natural to them. Because nothing out here really swims in a straight line for too long. So when they see that change of direction, you know, it doesn't look artificial to them, it looks very natural. There's a fish, something small. I'm just gonna keep pedaling. Little babies, ow, little schoolie. Blackfish. Let go. But there was gulp on there.